My name is Cathy, and I'm an anorexic. I always like to open with a big laugh. The point I want to make is I'm not a normal person. I mean, you'll probably get that pretty soon, but I just want to let you know that I know that. For example, here's what I did the other night. I was watching a documentary on the Nazis, World War II, one of my favorite pastimes. I know, but wait, just wait, let me finish. And they were showing some footage of the people, the prisoners in the concentration camp, and okay, look, this is very crazy. Please don't judge me. And I got jealous because they were thinner than I am. I know. Ugh, now you think I'm a horrible person. Now I think I'm a horrible person. But I'm not a horrible person, really, I promise you, I'm not. I'm just sick. And I hate myself. I hate myself. And you know why I hate myself? Not because of what I just said. No, that would make sense. I hate myself because I'm fat. I know I'm not fat, but I'm fat. And my pants are falling off of me. Still, every day when I put my jeans on, I wonder, is this the day? Is this the day they're going to be too tight on me? I know. I'm not a normal person, I just told you. And this is not about that 5 pounds that everyone wants to lose. No. This is about feeling so fat that I want to die. I literally want to die. So, is everyone having fun so far? Why is being thin such a national obsession? Thin is revered and glorified in our society, and that's why this disease isn't handled responsibly. People want to be thin so desperately that we will take the chance of killing ourselves. It's like we're looking down the barrel of a loaded gun saying, you mean, if you pull the trigger, I could either end up dead or really thin? Okay, shoot. I mean, when you look at it that way, it's clearly insane. Okay, so let's just say for the sake of argument that my jeans are tight on me one day. I mean, what would a normal, healthy person do? Well, she might say, okay, I'll unbutton the top button, or I'll wear these bigger jeans today. Or sweatpants, there you go, that'll be nice. Maybe I'll go to the gym, eat a little less today, and that's the end of that. But me, I would torture myself by leaving the tight jeans on as a reminder of how freaking fat I am. I'm sorry, does any of this make sense to you? Because if it doesn't make sense to you, then congratulations. You should be glad, that's a good thing. I can't think my way out of this one, and that pisses me off. You know, if I'm not careful, I can starve myself to death. It's called body dysmorphia. I basically don't know what I realistically look like. I mean, you look at me and you see a thin person. But there are days when I look at me and I see Henry VIII. I've been anorexic for the past 39 years. As a matter of fact, last year I was turned down for health insurance because I have a history of anorexia. Well, that's what they said. I know why they really turned me down. It's because I'm fat. I know what some people think about people like me. They think we're just self-centered and vain. And that's another reason why some people don't take anorexia seriously. I remember this one time this woman asked me how I stayed so thin, and I said, I'm anorexic. And without missing a beat, she said, oh, you're so lucky, I wish I was anorexic. Really? I mean, can you imagine anyone ever saying, oh, I wish I had cancer, it's so slimming. Anorexia has the highest death rate of any mental illness, up to 20%. 20%. That's crazy. That's 1 out of every 5 people gone. Talk about being a size 0. It's an eating disorder, and it's also an addiction. The disorder manifests with food, and the addiction is perfection. And when things aren't perfect with me, I get really anxious. I think I've always felt like this, since I was really little, like everything was always so insurmountable. How did I get like this? How? I know that's a rhetorical question. But how? My mother told me when I was a baby I was a really good eater. Then at some point, I developed some sort of digestive problem. My doctor said it was nothing serious, but basically I could only eat soft, mushy foods. And according to my mother, that was when I became a picky eater. Anyway, this caused me to develop a pretty unbalanced diet. Now, add to that my mother was an uninspired cook. We were always complaining about her food. It got to the point where this is how she had to serve every meal to us. Here, there's nothing wrong with this. Wow, you should go into sales, Mom. When I was a kid, I didn't think I was fat. I didn't think about it at all. There was no anxiety. I just ate whatever I wanted. But when I found something I liked, I ate it over and over and over, every single day. And over time, I developed a lot of stringent rules about my food, lots of rituals. It was a whole big production, and I was the director. I was in charge. I must have felt the need to be in control of something, because when I wasn't in control, the anxiety was unbearable. So I found a way to control things. I got skinny. When I was about 19 in college, I found this quack diet doctor. He would give a prescription to anyone. And I wasn't fat, but just like a lot of girls I knew back then, I weighed more than I wanted to, damn it. So I put on my saddest face, and I told him I just couldn't lose weight. And before I knew it, the prescription pad was out. And that opened the door to anorexia for me, because when I could feel my hip bones and see my rib cage, I thought I looked perfect. I would get this feeling of euphoria, of victory. I was addicted. But it would only last a short period of time, until the next time I looked in the mirror and I saw Henry VIII again. I got down to about 84.5 pounds, approximately, give or take 1/10 of an ounce. Come on, normal people don't weigh themselves in half pounds. That's how you weigh potato salad. Clearly, I needed help, and I got some. When I was 23, I spent a year in therapy with my family, and we started to figure it out. Anorexia, we learned, is a family dysfunction, kind of like Thanksgiving, but without all the food. And during that year, with the guidance of my therapist, I began to learn how to separate from my parents, who had never heard of a healthy boundary. All throughout my childhood, my parents fought constantly, and they consistently used me in their arguments. My mother would say things to my dad like, "I should have married Eddie Greenberg," out loud in front of me. And then my father would start complaining to me about my mother, building a case against her, telling me, "Your mother is so selfish, I'm the injured party here." And then when my mom would get me alone, she would tell me how much she was suffering. You don't know how hard it is to live with your father. And my father, you don't know how hard it is to live with your mother. She's impossible. And my mother, he's impossible. They were impossible. And I was in the middle of it. It was like living in World War II. Well, not exactly, because World War II ended. And we became a triangle enmeshed. I couldn't tell where my parents ended and I began. So, with the help of therapy, I began to take actions towards my goals, even when it meant displeasing my parents. In essence, I was finally able to feel what it was costing me to sacrifice my desires in order to please them, and then other people too. And I began to push past my fears and please myself and become an individual. Family therapy really helped. for a good long time. But this stuff is never over. It's the proverbial peeling away of the onion layers. Life is a continuum of change. And change makes me really anxious. And when I get anxious, that triggers my anorexia. That's my coping mechanism. That's how it works with me. It's always lying in wait. What my job is to understand and accept myself, my imperfect self. Now, is that power in me? Or does my validation always have to come from outside conditions? A great job, a big paycheck, how many likes I got on Facebook. And if I do fail along the way, I mean, who cares, really? Nobody. Nobody really loves me anyway. And the ones who don't love me? Well, who gives a damn about them? Who needs that dead weight? That's good weight to lose. You know what? I'm hungry. Thank you. Thank you very much.